What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video where I kind of go through what I've done for my CS 440 mobile app development class. I'm happy that you're all here today, and by you all I mean Dr. Grissom Bell and maybe Mark. Whoever is grading this. Um, I'm going to pretty much show you everything I've done. As you can see here on this portion of the screen where my mouse is, that I've completed the Handlebar Labs checklist of the calculator app, all the videos and such. I know I only still have the preview right here just because I'm waiting to get paid before I buy the whole thing, because I need money to do that. We all feel, we understand this is why we have jobs, people. Alrighty. But yeah, so right now it's still the preview, but you can see that I've done all of these on my account. I've also gotten started on the quiz app, but that's not what this is about. So now that I got that done and out of the way, the magic of the calculator. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Wish I could edit this out, but I'm not editing this video at all. I'm going to reach that out so you can see a good portion of the code. Anywho, so I'm going to go through the code first, and then I will kind of show you at how everything works on the calculator that looks like the one from iOS. Yes. Excuse me. Yeah, the bird. Pardon me. So anyway, I'm going to go through the other files in it before I get in this calculator app before I get to the index.js function. So to begin, here we have the row.js, which as you can see, it imports from the React library and the React Native library. It's specifically getting the view from the React Native library. This is a very simple file. As you can see, it's only 6 lines of code. But pretty much all this is doing is getting all the children, which are all the buttons. Ha! Children. Wonder who the parents were. But anyway. And it gives them the direction of the rows. So that's how we get all of these rows for all of our buttons, as you could see here. So now I'm going to get into the buttons here. This is all the styling for the button and kind of getting the button to work just a little bit. It's not all the logic behind it, but yeah, it's pretty much getting some of the stuff here to work. So as you can see, we again import from the React Native library and React. You can see that we have the touchable opacity, style sheet, text, and the dimensions functions in here. This here, the screen is getting the full dimension of the phone screen that you see. And then the button width is making sure that the width of each button is 1/4 of the screen here. As you can see, it's divided by 4, so we're getting the whole screen's width and dividing it by 4 there. Now we have our styles, this is all the styling. As you can see here, we got this cool little highlighter there to show us the color. That's one of the many extensions that I've added on here to my Visual Studio. Not totally related to the mobile app, but whatever, I just had to say that. But yeah, we got our text color, which you can see is the text for the buttons. Our secondary color, which is the black text, which goes for these secondary buttons at the top. The primary color is also on the orange buttons. These are for the buttons in general. As you can see, this kind of like opacitated gray color here. We have all of this stuff in here. We have our height, which is giving it the button height, aligning the items into the center so that way it looks like they're all centerized from the very center. As you can see, kind of down the middle here, we've got 2 on each side, and they look very nice and smooth. We also have the border radius, which is the button width, which we're getting from the math built-in library from React and React Native. We also have the double size of the button here, which is for the zero button at the bottom. We have our button secondary, which is the secondary buttons, the kind of the clear, the plus or minus, or the percentage type button. And then we got our accent color for the actual mathematical functions. I'm sorry that this video is long. I'm not really good at getting to the point here. But anyway, this here is where we're pretty much creating the buttons and the text style, and then showing that if the button is the style of button, like the 0 here, if the text style is that, then we'll add this button to our button styles array here, which is how we get all the buttons displayed. And then if it's like the accent color, or if the style type is accent, it'll come on here and be pushed at the end. And then we got here, which is making it like the touchable opacity, so that we were able to press the buttons and whatnot. And again, this is not the logic. Now to the calculator.js function. This is where like a bunch of our logic and all that cool stuff is, like doing that good old little deal. So as you can see, we're getting all these export constants. So these are variables that we're exporting into index.js in pretty much our return statements in a way. But yeah, so our first function, or our first variable here is the initial state object. That is always set to its first original current value of 0. There's no operator, there's no previous value when you start it up or when you clear it out, because now we're at the basic state. We have the handle number variable, which is pretty much getting the current value state. So right now it's at 0. If I added a number, so 7 times, it shows 0 for now because I haven't put any input in, but if I do that, 7 times 8 equals 56, and then the clear button is setting it back to 0. We're handling the equal value state, so pretty much like when you do the equal sign here, it's getting that state, and or like resetting the state also as well through the current and previous values. This way we could do the actual functions on the math, and we're holding those two different states. Yeah, now this is like the logic to pretty much reset the state after you type in the first number and use your operand. All of these are pretty much like the same kind of concept here. So if you do like 8 divided by like how it goes back to the reset to the initial state, so that way it's like it's holding the 8 as the previous state, and then the current state right now is 0 until I put something in and hit the equal sign. I know that's a little bit funky. That's something that I'm going to work on here in a minute. Or probably for some of the upgrades, kind of fixing that. And then here is the calculator side of things. So this is how it's like doing all of the special-ish functions. So if the case is the number, it'll like pretty much put it into the previous or current state. So like 5, for example. If you click clear, it pretty much returns it to the initial state, which is 0. If you do the equal sign, it'll do that handle equal function that's up at the top. I mean, 8 equals 8 obviously, so 8 minus 6 equals 77. So that's that. The case of it being equal will show you the value that is in the calculator. And then, did I miss any? Oh, that's just seeing if it's an operator. We also have the clear function, which returns it to the initial state. The positive negative button, which will turn it negative and positive. I'm sorry if I'm making this video super long. I'm not very good at this. If you turn it into a percent, it'll like put the decimal point 2 digits over. So if I do like 2 and change it to a percent, it would be 0.002. And yeah, that's pretty much this, and then we're exporting the default of calculator into our index.js, which again, we have style sheets. We're importing all of these other files into here so that way they are usable and we're able to get it. We are creating the state function, which is the initial state here. We're handling the tap, which is pretty much setting the state, the value, and the type, which is whether or not you're doing this type, buttons, all of that good stuff. I'll show you that point button also works there too really quickly. But yeah, and then this is pretty much everything that we're rendering and how we're able to kind of make the app itself. So in each button it has 3 different types of styling. We're showing the text, the theme here. So the theme is a secondary coloring for clear, for example, on this button, and it's showing each row. Each row aspect is able to display each individual row, so all the buttons that are in that row will be in each different row tag. So for example, this top one here is going to be the top row where it has a C, the plus minus, which is the secondary, and then the percentage and the division sign. In there we're also handling the handle tap and their type, so that we could see what kind of operand we're using and whatnot. Same thing with the buttons, all the buttons, the text that goes on each button, so on and so forth for all of those, and that's how they are rendered. And yeah, everything's in the safe area view, so that way it's all rendered on the screen. So real quickly, I'm just going to go over all the operands really fast so you can see that all of those work. So I'll do like 10 plus 2 equals 12. If I do, I'll do a minus 3.5 so that way you can see the point function work. It'll return the 8.5. I want to clear that. So I'll do 85 times 3, which will be 255. Change that to positive and negative, always as a percent, which will just multiply it by 0.01. Clear that out again, and then we'll do 9 divided by 6, just to show that all of the functions work. I'll also type in one of every single number as well, so you can see all the numbers work. 7890. So yeah, that's the calculator app. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope my fans out there to my YouTube channel will like and subscribe to this. Not that I'm trying to do anything with this channel whatsoever. Maybe I might actually make a channel for me doing programming later at some point. I don't know. But yeah, sorry that this is such a long video. I just wanted to make sure I got in depth and that I could really get my point across, and hopefully I got everything. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed your weekend. Bell, Mark, or Dr. Grissom. I will see you next time, my friend, or tomorrow. Yeah, bye-bye.